What is going on YouTube? Today I want to talk to you about building these Christmas trees. My name's Andy, this is Cedar River Woodworking, and welcome to the shop. So let's talk about these massive Christmas trees. Now I'm 7 foot tall, and these things make me look 5'9", 5'10", you know, with a good pair of shoes. But yeah, they're really fun to build. I love the spiral effect that these things have on them. Now, we will be releasing a video at the exact same time featuring these stars as well. So let me know if you saw this video first or that video first down in the comment section below, down in the doobly-doos. What we're gonna be using on this are a few different tools. I have a circular saw, a miter saw, and a drill and driver, along with a brad nailer. So yeah, let's jump down to the saws and I will show you exactly how we made these trees. So we are here at our favorite DIY tool, the miter saw. So what we are going to do is we are going to cut up our construction grade lumber, and we have a 2x4 here, and we will be using 4 6-foot fence pickets. These are cedar fence pickets. You could use the pressure treated ones also if you wanted to. So what I'm going to do is measure out here on our 2x4 to 64 inches. Now I do have that pre-marked here, and we are going to cut that at a 90-degree angle. Then set that off to the side. This is going to be our main trunk for this tree. Alrighty, with our first fence picket here, I'm going to cut the end off of this. I just like having a smooth end on the end of these boards. Just makes me feel better. So with that really rough end right there cut off, we are gonna measure out here to 36 inches and make the first cut. Now I can cut down this board to our next width, but I'm actually just gonna leave them the way that they are, because we're gonna have some more cuts in the future that's gonna shape our tree how we want them. With the second fence picket, I'm gonna give it the same treatment of cutting the rough end off of here. Then we will measure the first part to 25 inches. Cut that out. The next piece is going to be 19 inches. The next one at 14 inches. And the very last one at 8 inches. You're just gonna have a small piece left over. You could cut a little star out of this if you wanted to, but if you haven't seen the other star video that we have made, go check that one out after you check out this video. So here is all of our cut pieces. This is going to give us our palette look on our tree. Now we are going to go over to the bench and we're going to assemble the palette look for this tree. All right, so over here at the bench, you can see I have it covered up with a nice piece of styrofoam, because under here I have a nice tabletop for a dining room table. I kind of a mess, and I have not cleared off my bench in a little bit, but that table will be out soon, so watch for a post on that. So here we are with our tree pieces. Now we are going to make it look like a palette. So what I'm going to do to start off with is I'm going to measure 10 inches up. This is going to establish the little bit of a trunk that we're going to have. And I'm going to take the 36-inch piece that I have to start off with here, and I'm going to put it just above that mark. So this is 36 inches, so I want to center that. So half of 36 is about 18. I'm just centering it on the board here. And I will take a square to make sure that this board is nice and square. So just eyeballing it, I was not. And I'm going to take my brad nailer, which I have some 1-inch brad nails in here. Now I do really like the electric ones that are a little bit heavier than the pneumatic. If you don't have these, this is perfectly fine. I'll leave links in the description below to show you where we can get these. Now, these are pretty solid with just the brad nails in them, but if you wanted to glue this first and then brad nail it, that's perfectly okay too. But I am just gonna put probably about 6 brad nails into this piece. All right, and to get our proper spacing, I'm gonna take a scrap piece of 2x4 and just butt it up against the top of that. And just like the other 36-inch piece, I will be centering this. And probably about right there. And again, 6 brad nails. And I'm going to continue that process with the rest of these. So we'll start here, and we will just go largest to smallest, and that will give us this palette look that we are looking for. So we're at 25 inches here. So we're about 12.5. And we'll nail that in place as well. $19 inches, and we're about 9.5 there, and nail it in. Now, if you guys are liking these Christmas tree builds, please let me know in the comment section below so I can try and think of some more designs for that and give you some different variation on what we see on this channel. Here we are, second to last piece at 14 inches. So we are going to put 7 at center and nail it in place. And again, if you like these Christmas tree builds, I've done quite a few of them. Please check out the rest that are on the channel. I'll have some linked in the video description. This is 8 inches. We'll center it at 4. And if you like what we do here, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Alrighty. So here is our palette. Now, you can just kind of leave it like this if you wanted to, but we're gonna give it a little bit more treatment. We're gonna make this thing look like it spirals. So let's go back over to miter saw, and I will show you the cuts that we need to do to get those cross pieces. So now that we have the palette established for our tree, let's go ahead and make it look like it's twirling around, and I'll show you what we need to do for the cuts for those. So just like our other fence pickets, I'm going to cut the rough end off of these and then make our measurements. The first cut that we are going to do is 34 inches. Then our second cut is going to be 29 inches. Again, we're gonna have a little scrap piece left over. You can keep this, you can do whatever you would like with it. You could make a pretty cool star out of this. So this is going to be our last fence picket, and it's gonna finish out the rest of our cuts. Same treatment as all the rest of them. Cut the rough end off. And our first cut out of this is going to be 24 inches. The next one is going to be at 19 inches. And finally, we are going to have a 16-inch piece. This will also leave you with a small piece of scrap left over. Alrighty, here we are with our pieces. And I will show you how we assemble this. So we are just gonna take our longest piece and line it up here so that this bottom corner and this top corner are touching the very extreme edges of these boards. Now you can see there's a bunch of hang over here and a bunch of hang over here. That is perfectly okay. I will show you exactly what we're gonna do to take care of that. Then, again, we're gonna use 1-inch brad nails and our brad nailer and put some nails in this. That's probably way more nails than you need, but I just like to be extra cautious. So we are going to continue that trend all the way up this tree. Now I didn't call out the lengths on those last ones, so this bottom piece is going to be your 34-inch. The next one is going to be 29 inches. This one is 24 inches. So we will do that same treatment here. This one's actually a little bit longer than what we need it to be, which is perfect. Now you're probably looking at this and saying, Andy, this doesn't look like the tree at the beginning of the video. I'll show you. We have a couple more cuts to make on this, and it will be just how we want it to be, like the beginning of this video. All right, I'll line up here. This piece is going to be 19 inches, and the very last one that we're putting down is 16 inches. And gonna get that lined up the best that we can here. I can show you how we make this tree have that nice little taper to it. My secret weapon, a giant straight edge. You don't need a 10-foot straight edge for this, but it does help just a little bit. So we are going to line these up here so that just the corners of these are just kind of in line here so that we can get this cut just right. So this is where our line is going to be, but because we have a circular saw, we aren't going to be able to put this straight edge directly on there. It's going to have to be offset a little bit. So like for my circular saw itself, it's a 4-inch offset. I'm sorry, it is a 5-inch offset to the outside of here. So I'm gonna have to push this straight edge in 5 inches to accommodate for the width of that. If you do have a track saw, which I do, I'll cut the other side with that off camera, but I want to show you guys exactly what you can do without any of those fancy tools. So make sure you have your offset for your saw here, and let me clamp this down. Now we do have some spare 2x material underneath it here to help support everything. All right, once we have this clamped into place, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off this angle, and that is gonna give us our nice taper to our tree. Now, when you are cutting this, I'm gonna pull the battery out so you know it's being safe. Trigger check, and it does not turn. Now, when you're doing this, you wanna make sure that your blade isn't sticking out too far. Now, if it's sticking out really far, you can cut into your tabletop or whatever you're on. This is why I have that pink phone down here, just in case it goes too far. But also, when you're cutting this, do not put your hand underneath of it. You don't need to catch any of these pieces. We don't need to lose any fingers today. So, battery back in it, and let's make our cut. Let's get a base on this thing so that this thing can stand upright, and then we can mount a star. All right, here at the business end of the tree, I have these base pieces cut. Now I did just cut these to 12 inches in length, and I put a little 45-degree bevel on there to give it a little bit more character. So if you're doing the math and you got a 10-foot long 2x4, you can make all of these cuts out of one 2x4. Otherwise, you're gonna have to use some scrap to make these feet. So how we will assemble these, I'm gonna have the bevel facing the top of the tree, and I am just going to screw this onto the bottom here. Now that we have one in there, we can pivot this so that it is parallel with the base of this and put in our other 2 screws. What I'm using for screws are some 2.5-inch deck screws, number 9 deck screws, if you want to know the specifics of that. These are coated, so they could be outside. Now, I have some zinc brad nails in this, so I'm not worried about those as well. And it's also cedar, so most of this is outdoor rated, except for the 2x4, but I don't think that it's gonna see too many elements that it's gonna break down on you. So we're gonna flip this over and put the opposite foot on here. Remember, they go opposite directions and bevel facing the top of the tree. And that is how we make these trees. Now, if you made it this far, let me know down in the comments section if you like the painted tree or our plain tree better. That'll let me know that you made it this far into the video. And if you have any questions, please ask them at that point in time. So yeah, I really like this build. I love the way that these trees look. But that's it for now. If you have any other questions, please let us know. Please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't seen the star videos yet, I will have those in the end cards as well. Anyways, for now, my name has been Andy. This has been Cedar River Woodworking, and we will see you in the next video.